Mental institutions are a common aspect of life as we know it. They can be found all over the world, from down under in Australia to up north in Greenland. They provide specialized treatment plans for each individual and help their patients handle their illnesses. They are effective and well equipped to deal with the types of patients that they have. However, they were not always this way. Today we are going to be taking a trip into the past, to the year 1247 to be exact, the year that England's first mental institution was founded. Bedlam Royal Hospital was originally founded in Bishopsgate Ward in London, just outside of the downtown area. While it was officially recognized as a hospital, most people referred to it simply as Bedlam. The patients ranged in age, gender, and social class. However, most were poor and did not truly have a mental illness. While some patients were ill, many were simply unwanted by society and were forcibly admitted. This meant that any person who got into trouble, either with their own family or with people outside of it, could be claimed as mentally insane. Often, wives who had displeased their husbands were admitted, sometimes with their children if they were young enough. However, a patient was only accepted if they were deemed strong enough to withstand treatment. While at the hospital, patients were locked in cells by themselves and were let out only for treatments and an occasional walk, during which they were not to walk on the lawn in front of the building and were held with chains. They received 2 meals a day, and most of the time, those meals consisted of meat and dairy products. They slept on beds of straw, and the only other thing they were permitted to have in their cells, aside from chains, were their chamber pots, which served as toilets. They were constantly guarded, and any person that moved too quickly or too suddenly, even within their cells, would be tackled and leg-locked. Treatments were rigorous and took a hard toll on the body and mind of a patient. The doctors used torture to beat the illness out of the mind. Starvation was used to break the patient's spirit and kept them weak enough that they could not fight back. Rotational therapy was a favored method for doctors and widely feared by patients. They would be chained to a chair that hung from the ceiling and spun at high speed for hours at a time. Vertigo and vomiting were regarded as healthy reactions. Beyond their rotational therapy, patients were subjected to chains and beatings regularly. Some even underwent the process of bloodletting with leeches. The patients were also forced to purge and vomit to quicken the process of starvation. Most of the patients never left the asylum and died during treatment. They were buried in mass graves on site. The few patients who were released were only allowed to go free because they were no longer strong enough to withstand treatments, though they were told it was because they were no longer sick. These patients were left in worse condition than when they were admitted and depended entirely on other people for survival. They suffered severely from what we would now diagnose as PTSD. Hundreds of years later, we know very little of what exactly went on in England's first mental institution. Many details are muddled, shrouded in mystery, and will remain that way. However, one thing is very clear. Whatever happened within those walls left enough of an imprint on history for Bedlam to get its own definition, a scene of uproar and confusion.